Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. We just made the long trip over to Omaha, Nebraska. Roberto, why the hell are we in Omaha?
Well, we're at Dave & Buster's to play the latest installment in one of our favorite game series of all time. Who's never gonna play House of the Dead, Scarlet Dawn.
And we still love beer, even when we're in Omaha. So what are we gonna drink
Today
today?
we're drinking Pint IPA. It's from Nebraska.
All right, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and stay tuned for this episode of Gaming Off the Grid. All right, here we go. House of the Dead has returned to the arcade in the form of House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn.
Yeah, we're so pumped that this game came out, so we took the entire Gaming Off the Grid squad down to Omaha, Nebraska to play it. I'm really excited to talk about this game, but we need to cover some history before we jump into it.
So this series has been around for a long time, and it has been a while since a new arcade cabinet of House of the Dead has appeared in the arcades.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for it for a while. And I think we can all agree House of the Dead series is probably among the best arcade games of all time.
For sure.
And it's made by Sega.
And I love Sega, and like you guys were saying, it's been 12 years since the last arcade release of House of the Dead.
Yeah, it's been a long time. They did slick out a little release on home consoles on the Nintendo Wii, House of the Dead Overkill.
Yeah, and that came out probably 8-9 years ago, but still, that's so much time for a new release in this series. I really want to know everyone's thoughts on this game because it's a really unique experience, and it's fully immersive, and it covers multiple senses. The seat vibrates, you get shot in the face with air, the sound is just booming. It's just such a sweet arcade experience. I don't know what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, probably my favorite feature was the triple guns. I mean, you get your main weapon and then you get to pick two sidearms. I mean, the only downside to them is they've got limited ammo, but I mean, that's just strategy. It's just adding strategy to the game.
And it's really sweet. Every time you finish a mission, you can change what those side guns are, so you can use like extra machine guns or a grenade launcher or a laser, and it's so hard to pick because there's a lot of options.
Well, and to speak on the strategy piece, you can like set up different things. So multiple times we were having somebody like get machine guns and somebody else grabbing explosives or something to that effect.
That's actually my favorite feature that they added to this new game. I was really excited going into this game. This is literally my favorite arcade franchise. So I have to be nitpicky. You have a machine gun, it gives it more of a pray and spray type of feel as opposed to a precision strategic reloading, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3,
I get why you say that because all the other games except for 4 have the single shot option, but this game is so intense and so scary. I don't know if you could do the single shot because they send hordes of zombies at you and it's out of control.
And that's what I was going to say.
It's just kind of a modernization of this game, I think, because the pacing of the other games, there were hordes of zombies at times, but the games told a different story with their pacing, and this one is just like full tilt, throttle wide open the whole way. So I don't know, there's not the peaks and valleys, I guess, but that's kind of how things are now, I guess. So I don't know, it's both a good thing and a bad thing, because it was a lot of fun, but when you brought it up, I was kind of like, yeah, I kind of do miss House of the Dead too.
But as like a new gamer and you're jumping into an arcade game and you have no idea what it is, I feel like you need that high intensity.
Another thing I like about it is they brought back a lot of the little like rewards, like
the collectibles.
Collectibles, like the boxes and getting the coins and stuff, and that's awesome.
Well, the main thing I like about this, you bring that up, is that this game is a return to form. So Overkill was really great. We love that game, but it was more of a grindhouse film type of comedy horror, and it was really cool, but it almost felt like an offshoot of the series. I guess leaving off at that point, was that the direction they were going to take the franchise, or was that just an offshoot? I think we have the answer now, because this game returns to form. If you've played any of the other games, a lot of these bosses are going to feel very familiar to you. The collectibles, the life mechanism, all they really did was put you inside of a cabinet. So it's not an exterior cabinet. You sit in this thing,
so sweet.
And your asshole vibrates, there's wind in your face when the helicopter comes down, all sorts of stuff. So it's a full-on immersive experience that I have never experienced in the arcade. It literally had me tingling from head to toe like I did when I was a kid going to the arcades.
And it was so cool because we played it at Dave & Buster's and that place was so loud and there was so much noise and chaos. But once the game started, I didn't hear any of that. I didn't even realize I was in Dave & Buster's. I felt like I was in this game. That's how immersive it is, and it was so much fun.
And for any longtime fans of the series, this game does a great job of doing the sequel thing. It references past games very well. You get to see Curion's grave. It references Goldman. Yeah, that Goldman. I am Goldman. And one of the main characters, Ryan, is actually James's brother. James from House of the Dead 2 and House of the Dead 4.
I think you're forgetting one of the most important characters, Ryan's partner,
Kate Green. She reprises her role from House of the Dead 4, and she is so sexy, and she is a badass.
Dave & Buster's, let's talk about them a little bit because they were so kind to let us go there, bring in cameras, very hospitable. I don't think any of us had been there before. What do you think of the place?
I mean, I was in awe when I first walked in. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I was blown away.
My expectations were exceeded for sure. I expected, since they're commercialized and, corporate owned, they got franchises all over, I expect it to be cheesy and, especially these days, you just don't know what to expect. This place is awesome. It's got the restaurant, it's got the bar, and it's got the arcade, and each one is done, in my opinion, to what I want.
It's the typical arcade fashion where you can get tickets and get prizes, and we did that. I was walking around and I was just in awe. I was like, oh my god, I don't have enough time to play all the games I want to play. It was kind of intimidating with how sweet and how big it was, and I am so impressed by Dave & Buster's.
To be clear, we were at the Omaha, Nebraska Dave & Buster's, so we can't speak to the whole franchise, but the staff there was very hospitable. They treated us very well and were very welcoming. And they've got a really cool thing going. They've got exclusive arcade cabinets there that I don't believe are anywhere else in the country. This game that we're covering here today, the House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn, is, at least right now, it was released in Japan, but here in the States, it's only at Dave & Buster's. So it was a really cool experience.
But now let's talk about the beer. We got the Pint 9 IPA. What did you guys think?
Well, I really liked it. As you guys know, I'm an IPA fan.
The thing that told me it was a good beer was that Brian, who does not typically care for beers, especially IPAs, this was the one he picked.
It was kind of spilling when I was bringing it back to the guys, and so I just had to take a drink of it, and after I did, I was hooked.
It's like a very unique IPA, because I'm an IPA fan as well, if you guys don't know. But I was hoping for like really extreme hops and really aggressive, IPA typical stuff. But this is not that. It's a citrus IPA, so it's like a good summer drink, and it's not too attacky. This was a very good beer. So if you're ever in the Omaha area, make sure you check out Pint 9 and Dave & Buster's while you're at it. So let's just wrap up our thoughts on Scarlet Dawn.
Well, before we go, I gotta know, where's this game rank on your all-time favorites?
I'm gonna put it in the middle of the pack. 2 is my all-time favorite. And then, you got 3 and Overkill. This game actually reminds me a lot of 3. I will say that.
So I think this game is my all-time favorite in the series. I've played one in the arcades, and that was a really sweet experience, but this game is just so much fun. It's so immersive, it's intense, and afterwards I was just so giddy and just high on the game. It was incredible.
I've kind of went through the whole array of emotions with this game, I would say. I was really excited we got to go out there and play it. It meant a lot to take the whole squad out there and just roll in there like a bunch of bandits and run the place and take care of the game. We beat the game twice. So I think we've got a very good grasp of what it's all about. And it was good to reprise our roles as the dogs of the AMS. But this game falls into 2 categories for me. If you're going for an entertainment experience, like for the one time you're going to play one of the games, this is probably one of the fullest arcade experiences I think I have personally ever had. So entertaining. There's so much going on. It's like literally information overload. But if you just boil it down to the game, if this game gets a home console release, which Sega, please, we need a home console release. We have every other game in the collection. Bring it to us. I tend to agree, I think, a little more with Ryan if you're just looking at the game itself. So House of the Dead 2 will always probably be my all-time favorite of the game itself, followed shortly thereafter by Overkill. But if I were to say right now, let's pack up the van and go play any of the House of the Dead games that are out in the arcade, I would be playing Scarlet Dawn.
Yeah, I agree. With Robert, I think it's probably the best one I've played. I played 1 and 2 in the arcades, but just the way this one immersed you. And to top it all off, once we beat it, me and Robert set the high score.
Yeah,
so,
thanks for mentioning that. Yeah. Boom!
Yeah. Okay, alright, okay.
And what'd you guys get? 3rd?
Hey, you know what? Got G is in the all-time high score list, so we might just have to drive back to Omaha every once in a while and see if we still have the top spot.
I think we will, because we are awesome. And as always, thank you for your continuous support and subscribing to the channel. Keep gaming, keep drinking. We'll see you next time on Gaming Off the Grid.
We just made the long trek over to Omaha, Nebraska. Robert, why the hell are we in Omaha?
Well, we're coming at you with the weather. Well, we're at Dave & Buster's to play the new House of the Dead game. Today we're going to play House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn. I said that twice. Today we're going to play the new House of Dead Scarlet House of Dead. Destroys the egg.
and there's babies everywhere.
Dude, it's been a long day. Oh my god, I need a corning.